So how about we jump again into yet another Transformers Slag podcast Patreon listener question. Once again, if you want to be part of the Transformers Slag podcast and let us know we're doing a good job here, grinding out the daily news for the Transformer world and giving the deep opinions, patreon.com/protoman. Check the description below, check the pinned comment, and come join the Patreon and let us know we're doing a good job. But you don't get nothing for it. You join the Patreon, you get your name in the end credit scroll at the end of every segment moving forward. You get to join the Transformer Slag exclusive podcast Patreon Discord. And in that Discord, you get to hang out with all of us, talk Transformers, see the news break as it happens, get access to all kinds of different deals and Transformer stuff that we pretty much post every week, all the different deals that are happening around the world, so you can get cheap Transformer product, as well as download rare Transformer lore not found pretty much anywhere on the internet. You could also, if you want to, join the higher tier and get a gift box in the mail, get some cool Transformer stuff sent from Transformer Podcast, and of course, most importantly, the Patreon listener question. We have one of those gift box tier people today asking the Patreon listener question. So welcome to the Patreon, Spider Monkey. And Spider Monkey wants to know, and this is a good one, do you think Sunstorm will ever get a repaint from the Earthrise Seeker mold? If not, why do you think they keep passing on giving Sunstorm any love? Same goes for Shattered Glass Thundercracker and his colors. I love those colors. Thanks for everything, Spider Monkey. Thank you, Spider Monkey. Now, we'll jump first into Thundercracker because that's the easier one to kind of tackle and the shorter one of the two. And when it comes to Shattered Glass Thundercracker, for people who are not familiar with what he's referring to, the BotCon crew took the UK Action Master Thundercracker colors from 1991 and slapped it on that deluxe Seeker Jet mold that originated from Classics that was getting pretty much every repaint under the sun, and was released as a BotCon exclusive. They called it Shattered Glass Thundercracker, but it also doubled as Action Master Thundercracker, and even in some of the Collector Club magazines, it was referred to as G2 Action Master Thundercracker. So it kind of does double duty as an exclusive. So let's start with that color scheme. The problem with that one is historically, a character like Thundercracker, just when that name comes up, especially with retail, it's going to be those colors of the blues, with the primary blues with a little bit of red, maybe white, maybe grays. That's always been Thundercracker's colors. And that's how they stick with it because it's what works for that character all that time. When you look at the only time that character has ever deviated from that color scheme in all the thousands of toys, well, maybe not thousands, but hundreds of toys that have sported that title, and don't tell me like a decoy or something that's a monocolor, I mean like a painted figure. The only time they've ever deviated from that would have to be the 1997 Machine Wars toy. And that was like knee deep at a time when G1 wasn't really that important. Beast Wars was the most important thing in the world for Transformers at that time. And I honestly feel that that Thundercracker toy was more just a trademark save, if anything else, knee deep in a time when Beast Wars was not using Generation 1 names in general. And that Machine Wars Thundercracker, that flip changer that turned into a jet, was like a brownish tan GPS kind of nightmare figure, unfortunately. Anyone who's messed with it, the brown shatters like nothing. And I mean, when you're talking even like, look at the movieverse, the Michael Bay stuff. Historically, most characters, not all, but most characters, when their names were used from Generation 1 namesakes, what a surprise, they usually didn't sport their Generation 1 color schemes. We could talk Ironhide, we could talk Hot Rod, we could go to Sideswipe, so many. But yet, despite all of that, historically, all these Generation 1 accurate color schemes on these movie characters, still Thundercracker, he's showing up, he's going to have his Generation 1 colors, those blues and everything like that. So right away, right there, it's just ingrained into that character. If you're going to get an Armada Thundercracker, he's going to have those colors. If you're going to get a Cybertron Thundercracker, he's going to have those colors. You're going to get a animated Thundercracker, he's going to have those colors. So for them to go like, okay, we're going to take this crazy color scheme that really was a product of 1991 where it originated from more than anything, where you could get away with those kind of colors, and slap it on product today, it's kind of all over the place. It really is. It's something that if you like, it made sense for it to be a BotCon exclusive where you could take those risks. You could take that BotCon exclusive, make it 1,800 units, sell it as a BotCon exclusive to a small audience where BotCon would get about 3,000 people in general, and you know you're going to sell it to that niche audience of people who will like that weird kind of figure. It's something where if today, while it wouldn't work for retail, especially in that of a Voyager price point where Hasbro would be more invested, I could still kind of see it maybe in the modern era that we have today. We don't have BotCon, but we have Hasbro Pulse where a lot of the weird stuff does go. A lot of the stuff we've been getting from Hasbro Pulse recently invokes that spirit of a BotCon exclusive, especially that of like the G2 Sandstorm and little things like that. So that being said, if we ever do one day cross that bridge and they want to do a essentially Shattered Glass Thundercracker, aka UK Action Master Thundercracker, it's probably going to be a Hasbro Pulse thing. So that's pretty much answer that one. Now to get to Sunstorm, and you said here giving him love. Here's the thing, Sunstorm literally has been getting tons of repaints his entire retail history, and it's just only maybe recently that it hasn't been the case. And there's even a little bit of a story that I'm not sure if it's ever been said publicly, but I'll bring it up anyways. We'll go from the beginning and then I'll get to that story because it happens more near the end of it. I mean, historically, look, that trademark was first done all those years ago back in 2003. And it was when the OTFCC, the official Transformer Collector Club, was slowly going to become a thing. Obviously, it ended up dying and that club didn't work out in the end. But there was big plans and they registered Sunstorm. And Sunstorm was going to be this free attendee figure for the 2004 convention, and it was, so they registered Sunstorm for that. Obviously, convention didn't work out. The following year after that, we would have Fun Publication handling the Transformer conventions and that which is BotCon, and the rest is history with that. But Hasbro obviously scrambled and used the trademark again that same year. Of course, they just slapped it onto a Universe figure, Universe 1.0. They used that Armada thrust mold, and we had Sunstorm. And I'm going to, by the way, when I'm going to be going through this stuff, there's tons of Sunstorm stuff I'm going to be leaving out because they threw his name on mini-cons, they threw his name on all kinds of stuff. So I'm just going to go to the key ones for when these trademark runovers happen. So pretty much trademarked in 2003. Trademark expired in 2007. They refreshed it. And then, of course, stuff that happened between 2007 and 2011 before the next refresh. Oh, you got stuff like, the Cybertron mini-cons. You had the Titanium series, the 6-inch Thundercracker, Sunstorm. There's so much stuff that happened in between there, too. When it refreshed again in 2011 after the expiring, what happened in that time? Tons of stuff. There was a masterpiece that happened in between that stateside. You had the Creo. There was a lot of stuff that happened there. That expires 2011, then it expires in 2015, and then we get into the weird area. In 2015, there was one Sunstorm product put out. One. And that's where it got dicey, because they registered Sunstorm and there was nothing planned, and that can't happen. There has to be something that's put out. Everyone, for people who don't know, there's a whole story with how trademarking works, but you got to put out a product if you trademark it. So they did essentially do one thing, and it was those little, if anyone remembers those, they were blind boxed figures where it's the head of the Transformer with the alt mode, and when you flip it open, it opens up a robot mode. I'll post an image of it because it was pretty bizarre, and they don't really have an official name, but they were just like the Generation blind boxes. They were found at Walmart and stuff like that. So that was the only product that was put out during that period of 2015 to 2019, essentially. But what was actually going to happen at one point was when I was doing stuff with Fun Publication and the BotCon exclusive, there was a point where we were going to have a Sunstorm repaint from that of the pretty much the Combiner Wars jets that were used with Superion and stuff and everything. And they were going to do essentially Sunstorm. And the ideas were played around. Oh, is it going to be with the 5.0 set? And then obviously what happened in the end, the 5.0 set, they took that Sunstorm concept and turned it into Shattered Glass Starscream ultimately in the end. New head sculpt and everything like that. But there was all kinds of ideas. I remember like the Decepticon science team where we'd have a centerpiece that is Silverbolt remolded into Jetfire. And then the limbs would be Thundercracker, Skywarp, Sunstorm, and Acid Storm. You know, like you'd have stuff like that. Or you could have Starscream as one of the limbs too instead of Acid Storm. Like there was all kinds of playing with little ideas and stuff like that. But it didn't happen in the end. And the one product between that 2015 and 2019 was that one Sunstorm product. And that's why I understand that you're saying in recent years he's haven't been getting the love. Because there was so little stuff coming out around that time, especially 2015 onward. It's been refreshed in 2019, and nothing has been put out since at all. Now, keep in mind, it was refreshed in 2019. Expiration is going to happen in 2023 with a 6-month rollover for refresh again. But the point is they have to do something before 2023. I was actually surprised because Cyberverse had all these different Seeker jets. And all these like crazy Seeker jets too. Nova Storm, Acid Storm, Slipstream. I'm surprised we didn't get a Sunstorm thrown in there. He didn't even appear in the show. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get a Sunstorm something at some point before 2023. Because that's when it expires. They refreshed it and they haven't done anything yet. So something will have to show up sooner or later. Could be a Cyberverse figure. Could be maybe that Earthrise thing that you want. Who knows? But something has to happen at some point because the clock is ticking and 2023 isn't too far away. So something will happen. The question is when and where, we don't know. But I hope that answers your question a little bit because it's more just kind of the science of what's going on when it comes to choosing those color schemes and stuff and what works. In the case of Thundercracker, it's more just a color scheme concept that just doesn't work for retail. And the other one is more a trademark reason where they kind of just dish it out when they have to keep that trademark and when it's appropriate. So I hope that helps, Spider Monkey, and thanks for joining the Patreon. If you want to be just like Spider Monkey and join the Patreon, again, patreon.com/Protoman. Check the description below. Check the pinned comment and come join us, hang out, and be a huge Transformer fan.